Americans rally about the war.
They pretty much are saying is that we hate Israel. We disagree with the concept of Israel.
A march of solidarity with Israel right from the Capitol. Our DC bureau is live. Averting the shutdown.
I think that Mike has inherited a mess, and he is doing his best to work through that mess.
With the House coming to a decision on both. A catch of the day gone wrong.
I felt the line at first, not knowing what it was.
Following a fishing incident. And going above and beyond for a first grade class.
And the majority of them said catch a flight, go on an airplane.
Following an unexpected surprise for the teacher. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Kenneth Bueno.
I'm Kelly Sanchez. Today's Wednesday, November 15th, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami. This is Caplin News.
It's the morning after in D.C. following the largest domestic demonstration since the beginning of the Israeli-Hamas war. The March for Israel took up the entire Washington Mall.
Among the thousands on hand to see it, Caplin News DC reporter Paloma Pimentel was one of them. Back out there this morning live. Good morning, Paloma.
Good morning. I'm here once again in the National Mall where the March for Israel took place yesterday and thousands of people gathered displaying the Israeli flag and chanting sentiments about the war. There were also anti-Israel counter-protesters around the rally. The event, organized by the Jewish Federations of North America and the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations, included performances and speeches on a stage inside of the rally.
Israel will cease their counteroffensive when Hamas ceases to be a threat to the Jewish state.
Outside of the gates, tensions heightened, with demonstrators carrying anti-Zionist signs and chanting anti-Israeli messages led to confrontations between them and other Jewish individuals. I spoke to a rally participant who explained the controversy in more detail.
They pretty much are saying is that we hate Israel. We disagree with the concept of Israel being there as a secular state so much that we're willing to sort of forget everything that Judaism stands for, which is for peace.
I spoke to another participant who had a personal reason for supporting Israel and attending the march.
This year my daughter stayed in Jerusalem for a year, and so I have my personal feelings because she's there, and so in the sense that security is very important, and looks like there is no obvious solution and obvious end, but at least should be some distance that the different cultures at least don't harm each other. So.
An open letter by federal employees demanding immediate ceasefire was signed and sent to the president just earlier this week. Also, Israeli forces have stormed a hospital in Gaza where they claimed that Hamas was operating from. I am Paloma Pimentel from DC reporting for Caplin News.
DeSantis says he is not interested in being vice president. He was asked about the possibility of serving on a ticket with fellow presidential candidate Nikki Haley yesterday at a press conference.
I will be able to do more for Florida as in the president than I can 2 years as governor, but also more for the country. But I've also said, VP or some of these other things, like I can do more here than for the country than that. So we'll be at the top one way or another.
He said he could do more for Florida as president than he could as vice president. He signed a trade agreement with the United Kingdom at the campaign event.
The Senate is back in session today. A bill to avoid a government shutdown is likely a top priority. CNN's Amy Kiley reports on what's next for the legislation that cleared the House last night.
With that vote last night, a plan to avert a government shutdown has approval from the House. Now it's up to the Senate to decide on the continuing resolution.
I intend to support it.
That chamber's GOP leadership is backing the plan from the Republican House Speaker. And Democrats are actually the ones who got it through the House.
It's nice to see us working together.
Bipartisanship shouldn't be controversial.
But to some people, It is. After all, a bipartisan bill to avoid a shutdown is what cost Congressman Kevin McCarthy the gavel. So will Speaker Mike Johnson suffer the same fate?
I don't blame Mike for what's going on right now.
It looks like he won't. In fact, this Republican who voted to oust McCarthy still seems to blame him.
I think that Mike has inherited a mess, and he is doing his best to work through that mess.
Another sign of continued tension between McCarthy and hardliners who removed him is this NPR audio from the Capitol yesterday.
Why'd you elbow me in the back, Kevin?
Has he done that before?
No.
Huh. That's a new move.
You got no guts.
Meanwhile, a White House official says if the Senate passes the spending bill, President Joe Biden will sign it. I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
A fishing ban is in place this morning at a bridge in Pensacola after a woman got hooked by a fishing line. As reporter Yano Gavino from Where reports, it's just one of the incidents that led to the closure.
During a May boat outing with her husband and kids, Kristen West's arm accidentally became the catch of the day.
I felt the line at first, not knowing what it was, but so I was like, what is this?
This turned out to be a treble fishing hook cast by a man fishing on the 3-mile bridge.
He probably had just cast it, and with our center console we have like metal bars or whatever, and so it wrapped around that a couple of times and then got me.
When her boat passed underneath the bridge, West's arm got snagged by the hook. Her husband quickly cut the line.
It scared me for sure. I did yell because at first I felt the line around my neck, so I was like, what's going on? But then I realized the hook, and it was kind of like a bee sting, so it wasn't too bad, but it looked worse than it was.
Signs like this spell out the new rules.
There was a big question, can you fish on the bridge, can you not fish on the bridge? And now it's just clear.
FDOT told me law enforcement and other agencies will be on the lookout for fishermen not following the rules. A spokesperson said an FDOT study revealed that fish guts and trash were getting in the path of bicyclists and pedestrians. And in West's case, boaters.
Teeny tiny, like literally right there.
A small scar marking the day West was nearly reeled in.
It just looks like a freckle right now.
That was Where's Yona Gavino. The state's Department of Transportation put up the no fishing signs just last week.
If you are not a fan of self-checkout at the grocery store, you are not the only individual who thinks this way. Major companies and even customers are not the biggest fans of the self-checkout. The British market chain called Booths is removing the stations throughout all of their stores. Other retailers found that self-checkout leads to higher product losses and even shoplifting.
All eyes on President Biden today for his scheduled meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. This comes after months of tension between the two superpowers, and with conflicts raging in the Middle East and Europe, Biden says he is looking to demonstrate why an improved relationship with Beijing is in everyone's interests. Both leaders are in San Francisco for an APEC summit.
The Heat and Panthers both looking to get wins on the road on the same night.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
What's something that you wish you have done but you have not done yet?
A teacher takes her students on a mock trip to Mexico and then gets a real-world surprise. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Radcliffe Art and Design Incubator is the velocity accompanying the fellow's rudder, as in a boat. Unless there is movement or action, the planned direction is of little consequence. We encourage the creative ideas into action, and from the experience of doing, we critically assess the feedback, adjust, and set out to rediscover the potentialities of an entrepreneurial mindset.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Boarding pass, a teacher giving her class a pretend trip out of the country. A Texas teacher went above and beyond to arrange a mock trip to Mexico for her first grade students.
But as CNN's Gene Moose reports, while the kids got a pretend field trip, the teacher was surprised with a real trip.
It's the next best thing to going there.
Come along with first grade to Mexico. Here we're taking passport pictures. I'm going to laminate some boarding passes.
Texas teacher Sonia White staged a mock trip to Mexico for her students.
I'm going to change my classroom into an airplane.
The first graders at Trinity Leadership School flew Southwest Airlines.
Where are you going?
Mexico. With their carry-on luggage and even neck pillows.
So now I'm a TSA agent.
A video of takeoff set the mood. Their teacher transformed into a flight attendant. Apple juice. After an apparently bumpy landing, look at this kid's face. They arrived in Mexico.
They are going through customs. I am now a customs agent.
The trip went viral and got rave reviews. Best teacher ever. Invited on the Jennifer Hudson show, Miss White explained she got the idea after asking the kids.
What's something that you wish you have done but you have not done yet? And the majority of them said catch a flight, go on an airplane.
Next thing you know, Southwest invited the entire first grade to tour a real airplane.
I heard we're going to Mexico.
The kids climbed aboard, they built model planes, got a pep talk from a female pilot, examined the flight safety card while snacking, and then, surprise, their teachers and principal each got 2 free round-trip tickets to anywhere Southwest flies, including Mexico. The airline also donated $10,000 to the school. In only her second year as a teacher, Sonia White is flying high.
Did you have fun in Mexico?
Ginny Moose, CNN, New York.
It's safe to say that the Miami Heat is on fire after giving the sting to the Charlotte Hornets, wrapping up a 4-game road trip at the Spectrum Center. In the second game of the new in-season tournament, the Heat trailed early, but Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo fueled the comeback in the second quarter. Butler finished with a season-high 32 points, including a backboard buzzer beater to close the half. Miami led by as much as 12 in the third quarter and held on to the lead from there to win their 6th straight game. Final score, Heat 111, Charlotte 105. The Heat return to Kaseya Center for a bout with the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow at 7:30 p.m.
Meanwhile, the Florida Panthers kicked off a road trip of their own in California facing the San Jose Sharks. The 2-12 Sharks kept the game close at the end of the first period despite an early goal from Florida's Ryan Lomberg. But by the third period, the Panthers erupted for 3 goals and never looked back. Florida gets a 5th straight win with a final score of Panthers 5, San Jose 2. The team will make the short trip to Los Angeles to take on the Kings tomorrow at 10:30 p.m.
Former player and coach Skip Shoemaker was named Manager of the Year after an eventful run with the Miami Marlins. The honor came after Shoemaker's very first year leading the team. The former player received 72 votes, beating out runner-up and finalists Craig Counsell and Brian Snitker by a considerable margin. You're watching Newsbreak. We'll be coming right back.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Kelly Sanchez.
I'm Kenneth Bueno. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.